On this edition of AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf, Coach Brennan will break down the nail-biting victory against UMBC. Junior point guard Saeed Nelson joins the conversation and will preview the Eagles' upcoming game against St. Francis of PA. It all begins right now. And welcome to AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. And Coach, today we're going to talk about the team that some are calling Cardiac Kids, because a couple games in particular, they're waiting till the last minute to sort of define how the game's going to go. You have the George Mason game and the UMBC game, winning both of them, but waiting till literally the last second or so to seal it up.
Yeah, I mean, very good teams that we're playing against. So, it's going to be tough, just to be in the game. So they're putting themselves in positions to be able to win the games.
Let's dive into the UMBC game in particular. And with that, UMBC tied the game at 69 with about 8 seconds to go or so. You had the chance to call a timeout, but you decided not to. Take me inside the idea there, the thought there.
Well, it seemed like Saeed had a little bit of an advantage. He's good in the open court, and, I usually trust our point guards, or all our guys for that matter, just with their decision making. It didn't seem like UMBC was set defensively, and Saeed made a terrific play. Sam made a terrific play with his spacing, made the shot, and sort of worked out.
Well, let's go to the monitor and take a look at that play that gave you guys the lead with 1.5 seconds to go.
There's Saeed just getting by his guy, Sam spotting up. I mean, it's pretty simple. They had two guys on Saeed. Saeed noticed it. So, that's been a big thing with Saeed. Just getting other guys' shots has been important throughout that game. He always has the feeling that he can go all the way, and he can. But the fact that he draws so much attention, and that he's able to sort of bip the ball around to open teammates has really helped us this year.
Talk about the chemistry between those two guys in particular, between Iorio and Nelson, and how you've seen that increase just year to year.
Yeah, they're two really, really good players. Sam's been tremendous for us. Saeed's obviously been great for us. But they're, getting comfortable playing with each other. Sort of, it's one thing to sort of learn your offense, and then it's another thing to sort of know each other's strengths and weaknesses. Saeed's been, terrific, just getting Sam shots and, trying to get everybody involved, not just Sam. So the chemistry with, Saeed and Sam has been great, but with everybody on the team.
And from the confidence perspective there, where you said you decided not to call a timeout because you knew the ball was in Saeed's hands and you had the confidence that he'd do the right thing, know what to do, know how to lead the team down the floor. At what point sort of did you decide, like, okay, this guy totally gets it. He has it. He understands the system. He knows what to do here.
Well, Saeed's always been, good with the ball, and has always been a good decision maker. A big part of the play, too, is you used to be able to call timeout as a coach, and you can't do that anymore. The players have to call it. So I remember actually the first time we played UMBC when I was coaching, Pee Wee was their point guard, and he had the ball, and I would just watch him and sort of try to gauge what's he thinking, what does he see as he's bringing the ball up. And we had the same sort of exact kind of scenario. And I essentially didn't call a timeout, and Pee Wee wound up making a great pass to Jesse Reed for, a backdoor layup. But it was a little easier then because you can kind of determine. But here you have to either call it before the ball's inbounds, or try to get the attention of one of your players to call it, or just let your guys go and make decisions. And the way we teach, the way we practice, the way we coach, it's all about empowering your players, giving them freedom, and letting them make decisions. And it worked out in that situation.
Now UMBC, when you guys took the lead, called a timeout with 1.5 seconds to go to set up a play. What were you saying inside the huddle to the Eagles?
Just simple, basic stuff. Making sure that they're catching it in front of you, and You know, don't have any miscommunications on any switches. Don't give up a wide open three. Just have a body close to a body. Try to make it as difficult a catch as you can. So, you know, I mean, luckily, I mean, it's a hard pass. Stacy was on the ball. They're trying to get the ball down court, so it's obviously a very extremely difficult play for them to make. So we just got lucky that, you know, they threw it out of bounds on the initial throw-in.
You mentioned Stacy Becton. How much has he evolved year to year as well, and your confidence level in him, and in sometimes being able to sit Saeed for a few minutes, get him a breather?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously Stacy's contributing, you know, a lot this year, in every regard. I mean, his defense has been really, really good. He's been rebounding better. He's been making shots, but the ability to sort of give Saeed some minutes and have confidence that Stacy can sort of handle running the team. And, you know, actually that group that when Saeed was out, you know, we had a group of guys off the bench that sort of got us back into the game early, you know, in the first half.
So when you look at the depth of this team, and we talked a little bit a few minutes ago about Iorio, who hit the big shot in the UMBC game, but in the VMI game, he had his second double-double of the season. He has a varied game as well. I mean, he can bang it from three. He can go inside. How important is that to the system that you run?
I mean, very important. We look for guys like that, guys that can do multiple things. And Sam's been tremendous. And we haven't really, he's kind of learning a new position. He played center last year a ton. So a lot of this is new to him as well. And we're trying to figure out ways to get him the ball more. But he's such a good player. You know, he's made threes, he's made pull-ups, he's made post moves, he's made drives. He's, you know, a very good passer, and, you know, obviously the defensive rebounding has been huge for us.
So it seems to be a pretty good problem to have when you have so many options to go to, that the depth is there this year, unlike we've seen the previous couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, just having post presence, having, you know, big bodies in the post that require attention and that can put the ball in the basket with Mark and YY. And Josh, you know, Josh is coming along. He's going to get in there a little bit more. But just having, you know, that presence in there is sort of opening things up for everybody else.
You mentioned YY, you mentioned Mark Gasparini, both players that are back this year. Some of the guys have seen time with them before on the floors. Most have not. How is that coming along from a chemistry perspective? We talked about the chemistry between Saeed and Sam. How is the chemistry coming and just everything coming together when you look at the two big guys, the trees, so to speak, that you're adding that last year weren't really around?
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, it's just them getting comfortable. You know, them being aggressive, getting comfortable, sort of understanding what we expect from them. But even though the other guys have played, like Mark and YY haven't played, the other guys have, they're still sort of getting used to playing with Mark and YY and recognizing their strengths and, you know, how to sort of play off of them. So it sort of works both ways. But, you know, everybody's, you know, working hard, coming along well. I mean, the practices have been really, really good, so I'm excited.
And as we talk about Saeed Nelson, he'll be joining us upcoming. But first, let's take a look at how you can follow the Eagles on social media as we continue on AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
And welcome back to AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. And we're joined by Eagles point guard Saeed Nelson, the Patriot League preseason player of the year. Saeed, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
How does the preseason player of the year in the conference sound?
It's an honor. It's an honor to definitely be considered as player of the year. But, I mean, got to make it come true. Got to win some games first. So we're off to a good start. So I'm just going to see how it goes.
So it's a lot to work for because now you have the preseason style. You want to hold that, and you want to get after the season's in the books. You want to maintain that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to make the dream a reality, I guess, essentially. So just keep working every day in practice, man. Like I said, we came off to a good start this year, 4-1. So just going to keep it up, keep playing my game. Teammates keep playing their game, and see how it goes.
Now, you guys are like nail biters. I mean, you guys, really, I'm sure present a lot of stress to the coaching staff. You've come away with a couple wins down to the wire. The win at George Mason, of course, the big win at UMBC. How much confidence do those type of victories give you guys?
It's building a lot of confidence in every player on our team, just knowing we can pull it out down the stretch, even when we have the lead and lose the lead. Because, over the past couple years, we've had the lead with 4 minutes left in the game and slipped up at the end, and the outcome was just not good. So this year, just winning those 2 games on the road is definitely big in our minds, just knowing we can play with anybody at this point right now. And I think it's just going to help us down the line during Patriot League play.
And from the experience component, you guys have back 5 starters that have played time on the floor in the past here at AU. How much does that really speak that now this team has so much experience and depth on it?
It helps in the locker room. Essentially, everybody, like you said, the 5 starters back. Everybody knows what we're doing, what we're supposed to do at practice, what we need to do in the game. And just being able to get them back, over the past couple of years, dudes have been leaving after the first year or something like that. So just having everybody back, we can all mature together. And I think we've been doing a great job at that, having Mark back is great. Obviously, Larry, Sam, just all those guys back is just helping the younger guys in the locker room every day. So I think the outcomes is showing right now, so keep it up.
Compare this year's team and where you see it now to previous year's teams, from when you came in as a freshman to where you are now, and sort of how the team, how the program has evolved.
I think just having the guys back, we got an older group. Essentially, I'm a junior now, so most of the guys on the team are juniors and seniors. So just having them being older, like I said, and not leaving after the first year, it's big for us. I feel like just having the same guys in the locker room, so the freshmen aren't seeing new faces every year. I think it's just playing into a fact on the court. Everybody just coming together, just being ready every possession, every practice, like I said, every game. It's just helping us a lot.
And you guys have a lot of scoring options. You have scoring options down low. You have scoring options out around the perimeter. How much does that help you from a style perspective that you don't have to stay out along the perimeter or you don't have to throw it inside? You have options, and you have guys that can contribute at both ends and at all angles of the floor.
It takes a lot of pressure off of me. Essentially, I don't have to try to do everything. Maybe I've tried to do a lot in the past. So I know we got Mark back this year. We got YY down low. I think our forces in the post. So just being able to throw it down to them and make the defense think about, do I want to help out on Saeed? Do I want to help out on them? It just puts a lot of this. They have to make a decision in their mind, so it takes a lot of pressure off of me and Gasparini, Mark. But it's just having those guys. Like I said, it just helps space out the court more. Gives us a lot of options, so they can't essentially just guard me, or deny Sam. They have to play everybody honestly.
As you play on the floor during a game, is it more of a free and loose style? Like in your mind, are you thinking like, okay, I can look around, like just take me through kind of your thought process as far as, since you have so many options and you say you have less pressure, in some regards people may say you have more pressure because now you got to try to incorporate everyone because you know everyone can do something.
I just usually try to go into the game and get my teammates involved first. I know if they can get off to a good start, I'll be fine. I usually let the game come to me. But just getting them involved, getting them quick early baskets, I know they'll build that confidence throughout the game. Like, oh, I hit this shot, so he's going to find me there. I'm going to keep finding them until the defense switches it up. So just getting them involved early, I think, just helps the flow of the game for me and for them, essentially.
You mentioned having YY back, and that's got to be exciting for you guys on a lot of levels. I know you're happy for him to be able to medically play again. Just talk to what he brings from the leadership component off the floor, and of course what he brings also on the floor.
Just that older mentality. Just like I said, in the locker room and on the court, just being ready before anybody else, even me sometimes. Just having him out there, it's just helping us on the court. When it's break on the foul shot or timeout in the huddle, he's always the guy talking. I mean, I talk too, but he's just everybody just locks in when he's speaking because they know he's been here, he's seen it all. So just having him back is just, I think it's huge for us in the locker room.
On the flip side, on the younger side, Stacey Becton, back for a second season. Talk to how he has matured and how you've helped him increase his game.
I think he did a lot of work in the summer, just being more aggressive, being more vocal on the court. I know that's one thing I had to work on coming into college, is being more vocal on the court. Like, I would be in a position to help my teammates out and do this and do that, but at the next level, you need to talk. So I think he's been doing a great job at that so far in practice and in the game. And just him, he's taking pressure off of me in the game by being able to bring the ball up, run the offense himself. So I think as he just keeps growing, it's just going to make his game better and just make my job easier.
And give you a few minutes to relax on the bench or at least get a breather, right?
Need that.
Earlier this year, you were able to get to the 1,000 career point plateau. What does that mean to you, and to be able to do so quickly?
It means a lot. I mean, I know I put in a lot of work every offseason to get better in every point of my game that needs to be worked on. So it's definitely a blessing to be able to play to get to that, to reach that 1,000 points, to stay in college that long to get that accomplishment. So, but like I said, when it happened in the game, I didn't realize I was so locked in the game. So, like I said, just getting that win versus George Mason was much better than 1,000 points in my mind. So.
Yeah, you'll take the win over the personal plateau, right? You say you constantly are working to improve your game. What are a couple things that right now you think that you need to work on that you see room for improvement in?
Definitely my three-point percentage and my free throw shooting. From freshman year to sophomore year, there was improvement, but they still weren't the numbers I want them to be. So this offseason, again, I went to the lab and worked on it again, three-point shooting, foul shots. And obviously I'm working on everything else, my dribbling, still finishing in the paint through contact. But those are the top two things I've been working on the past couple years just to improve. So when I make it to the next level, hopefully they'll be consistent and it won't be no fall off like there is sometimes. So.
What do you do to try to improve your three-point shooting and your free throws? Is it just a matter of getting out there and just taking a ton of shots, or are there other mechanical things that you can work on? Do you look at tape and see sort of what you're doing, and maybe there's something in your shot that you can change?
Definitely go back and look at film, just the shots I make and the shots I miss, just the difference between my shooting form or the way I land, or if I hold my follow-through up, because I know sometimes dudes just shoot the ball and just pull their hands back. So just being consistent with my shot on the three-point line and at the free throw line, just being consistent with everything, I think that's just a big fact. I think it's helped me so far this year. My numbers are getting better in both of those fields, so I'm just trying to keep staying consistent.
41 points you scored last postseason against Lafayette. That game seemed to be where everything clicked for you on the offensive side of things. Did you feel that? Did you feel something different during that game? Did something seem to click for you?
I just wanted to go out there and still play my game. I just really wanted to win badly. I know we played them twice before that game. We lost to them in close games. So I felt like we were well prepared for what they had for us going into their gym. So just how the game flowed, I mean, I was knocking down shots. So I just felt confident still to just jump in and keep shooting threes. But, I mean, just playing my game. I mean, like I said, I let it come to me. So when I was flowing, I was hitting shots, I was getting my teammates involved. Just kept steady with that throughout the entire game. And, I mean, we almost had them. So that part I like to erase out my head, that loss. So.
How much confidence did that give you personally, and how much did that help you think and expand your leadership role on the team?
It gave me a lot of confidence. I feel like that game, I was talking a lot more, even though I didn't think I was at the time, but the coaches told me, you're talking to your guys, you're keeping them in tune to the game. So I was like, oh, really? Okay. And I just picked it up after that game and through the spring workouts, just being more vocal with these guys. I knew we had almost everybody coming back. So just want to be my best self. Like I said, this isn't the best Saeed, like right now. So just growing in every aspect through shooting, through leadership. I just want to get better at that after that game. And it's been pushing me. It's been on my mind. So I think I've been doing a good job at that so far.
Do you take more pride in the offensive side of things or the defensive side of things?
Both. Defense, that wins championships. Since that's the. Nah, man. I just go out there and play hard every possession. I mean, every possession is important, especially when you get to the college level. High school, maybe take some possessions off here and there, but because some games are guaranteed wins. But college, dudes can knock down shots. Everybody can play at the D1 level. So, I just got to be efficient on the offense and defense end.
You played in high school for South Jersey powerhouse St. Augustine. Played for Paul Rodeo. What did he teach you at that point that you were able to carry on?
Just to be ready every day. Is no on and off switch, and that was my biggest, I think, learning point from him, because at first I had no clue what he was talking about. I'm like, I'm going hard all the time, coach, but like sometimes I find myself coasting here and there, and when you get to college, the speed of the game is so much faster. You can't coast. There's somebody out there just flying off to get a shot, and you're not there. You're getting subbed out. So just him putting that in my mind and just making me realize that it's like actually true. I'll forever love him for it. It just helped me. It's helped me the past 3 years. So I think that's the biggest thing I learned from him.
Now, before we let you go, I know in high school you played football, and you were
middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're going way back.
Yeah.
What position did you play? And I know you're an Eagles fan, so you have to be happy with what they recently did.
I
right?
was running back and safety, and I was good, man. I'm telling you, I was good. And yeah, the Eagles, I was happy last year. We're not doing so well right now, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, in order to see more of Saeed and the rest of the Eagles, be sure and check out all the future games and the upcoming contests. Stick around as AU Hoop Talk, presented by Launchbox Golf, continues.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
Welcome back to AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. And Coach, team off to the best start in almost a decade. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, it's great. It's encouraging. I'm happy for our guys because they, been through. It was a tough season last year, so to get off to such a good start, all their hard work is paying off, and they're seeing sort of tangible results, and it makes for really good practices, and they're excited about the next opponent.
And it's got to help the young guys as well, setting that tone, so to speak.
Yeah, and I'm happy. I mean, even though it's been close games, I've been able to get a lot of guys into the game. We have a much heavier rotation. I feel confident in guys, resting guys more, resting Gasparini, and just rotating him and YY in and out. Trying to get Josh Alexander as much as I can in there because I think he's going to be really good for us. Trying to get Jacob Bunyasit in there because I think he's going to be a really good player. But I'm glad that Stacy and Larry and all these guys are making it hard for them because they're playing well. They're sharing the ball, they're competing, they're defending, they're playing well.
Let's talk about the upcoming opponent, St. Francis of PA, an opponent you're very familiar with. You've played them a lot, including the last couple of years, so even the players, the freshmen even, are familiar with them. However, you've lost the last couple games to them. So speak to what you know about St. Francis of PA and what they bring.
Yeah, Rob Kimmel, Coach Kimmel does a great job there. I mean, he gets good players. They're perimeter oriented usually. They just have a lot of guys that can do a lot of things offensively and break you down. They're 1, 2, 3, and quote 4 men can all make threes and dribble and drive by their guy, and they get up and down the court. So it's a tough guard. I think they might have scored 100, points last year. I mean, we were close. We scored like 90 or something.
Yeah.
But we got to, obviously defend better this year. But I think, us getting the ball inside will be important for this game, just taking advantage of hopefully what we think is an advantage.
Is that what you look at as the biggest key?
One of them. I mean, I think just slowing them down, keeping our bodies in front of our men, trying to stop, perimeter-oriented team from getting in the paint. So, I mean, we've done it, the first few games. We've been able to do a decent job of taking away penetration and threes, which is hard to do. But they're usually a very offensive, potent team, and it's hard to do.
Yeah, last year they scored 100. You guys scored 89. You guys are familiar with each other, which I guess has its pluses and its minuses, right? Because they're familiar with you as well.
Yeah, no, we've played each other, every year since I've been here. So, I mean, they kind of know. And as you go along, it's much like a league game, because coaches, get better at preparing for the same opponent over and over and over. So, like you said, they know what we do. They know our sets. They know our plays. So, hopefully we'll know them a little better than they do this year. But it's the same on our end. We'll have an idea of essentially what they're trying to do. So it should be a very good game.
Do you like playing games against teams you have an intimate familiarity with, that you play a lot, that you understand and know what's happening? Or would you rather play a team that maybe you play every couple years, or you play once a decade, or, I mean, again, I'm sure there are things you like about each angle to it and each type of game.
Yeah, no, there are positives and negatives to both, for sure. I mean, just having an understanding of what the coach, sort of what his philosophy is and what he's trying to do is huge. But normally, you want to play against teams that don't have as many good players as as another team. I mean, that's the key. It's just playing against good players is hard. Good players put pressure on you, regardless of what you do defensively and offensively. It's hard to stop good players. So, you just got to try and get better at that. And, your collective defense is the key.
Scouting, what's the biggest component for you as far as gleaning the information?
Well, we have great assistant coaches. I mean, Scotty, Matt, and EJ all do a terrific job. I mean, we all have so much access to video now. You can see, literally every out-of-bounds play, every play of every game. So, they do a good job of sort of breaking all that stuff down, condensing it, and sort of putting it, in a format to our guys where we know, hey, these are the 3 or 4 bullet points or keys that we need to be focused on. If we do these things, we'll be in good shape. So having, good assistants that are knowledgeable and communicate that stuff is key, and we do.
Up next for the Eagles is the game against St. Francis of Pennsylvania. And for continuing coverage of the Eagles, to find out all the latest, be sure and log on to aueagles.com. You can also call 202-885-TIXX for tickets. Again, that's 202-885-TIXX. For Coach, I'm Dan. Have a great day, everybody.